Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Natalie Smith-Wells YouTube channel. I'm so glad to have you on with me as we jump into our 5th episode of 15 for 15. I cannot believe that it's already been 4 episodes and that we're on our 5th one. Every one of them just seems like it gets more powerful, more exciting. And so today I want to share with you guys Courtney Ware, who is a former athlete of mine. However, she is currently also a collegiate track and field coach. So our conversation may start off from coach to athlete, but it may quickly turn into a coach to coach conversation because Courtney is, like I said, a coach. And so we naturally always kind of move back into talking coach stuff. And so I'd like to bring her in. Courtney was one of my athletes at Georgia Southern University, and I'm so glad that she's going to be with us today. So I'm bringing Courtney in to bring her to you guys. Hey, Courtney.
Hey.
How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So glad that you're giving me this time today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So I'm not interrupting or anything. You're out of practice, out of training and everything for today?
Yes, we have 7 a.m. practice because of the heat out here in Louisiana. So we have to go early in the morning because by 10 o'clock in the morning, it's probably 85 degrees with some humidity. So early mornings it is.
Thank you for that. And I know those athletes really appreciate that. So I am not going to take up all your time because we want to know about you. So just start us off by telling us what was one of your most memorable moments as far as being a college athlete at Georgia Southern University.
One of my memorable moments was when I was a sprinter jumper at Georgia Southern, and indoor season, and I believe it was 2008 or 2009, I remember. And I went up to Coach Smith on the bus from indoor conference at Clemson, and I was like, hey, let's pull away from this jumps because I can't do it anymore. My knees were hurting so bad. And so she said, let's try the 400 hurdles. And I kind of had to step back, and I'm like, the 400 hurdles? I was like, she hasn't even seen me run a 400 yet. So the next week, she was like, hey, let's go over these sticks. And I did it, and then push forward to the conference championship where we had the SoCon at home in 2009. I made the final, and I really thought that it was just one race and that was it. And Coach Smith came up to me and running to me and hugging me, said, you made the final. And I'm like, I have to do another race? Like, I didn't even know, being young-minded, but made the final and was happy that I could, score for the team.
I love that. And I know some of you that are watching that are former athletes, or if you currently run track and field, you were like right now, like, are you kidding me? She went from the 100 long jump to the 400 hurdles. And that just tells you a lot about Courtney and how she was as an athlete, because number one, she was always and is just as a person, a team player. But number two, she's not afraid of a challenge, not afraid of change. Just to give you a little backdrop, Courtney has been coaching for several years, and she's coached at the junior college level, and now, of course, as a Division I coach as well. So even thinking still about Georgia Southern, why ultimately did you choose Georgia Southern, coming from the junior college world, coming from more of the Midwest? What made you choose Georgia Southern?
I wanted to see a coach that looked like me. I had a coach that in high school that was the head coach for the program for Warren Central, but I wanted that on the collegiate level. So to see even just all women staff, because at that time it was, you, Coach Brown, and then Coach Talley. So I just wanted to see me, and especially, African-American as well.
Oh, that is good. Okay, that you pulling the coach out of me now. You really just took me somewhere because I didn't even put that together and didn't even think about the staff being all female at that time. And then you're talking about all female, and then two out of the three, me being the one that's not, the two out of the three are all Americans in track and field. Wow, that's powerful. Thank you for bringing that up. I didn't even think about that. And so I'm wondering too if that's helped to shape you in any way. Like, what made you decide that you were going to become a track and field coach?
Well, graduation of 2010, I really just did not know what I wanted to do. And so when I stepped into your office, probably 2 or 3 days after graduation, I said, what am I supposed to do? And what can I do? And you were like, let's go into coaching. You are that coach. And so you were a great representation. Other coaches in the past were great representation. And so I decided, well, let's look into this, to coaching, as well as, I do have a child and family development degree. So yes, I would be working with, kids that are older, who are 18, 19 years old. So I just decided to, walk into that era, and I'm still in it today.
I love that. That's a great one. And I think it's interesting. And please, if you're watching, make sure that you press subscribe. But I think what's really cool about that is I would never just tell somebody out of the blue what to go into. But I must say this about you and anybody that was around Georgia Southern at the time. You have always been a coach, no matter whether you were the athlete or not. You've always the one like, you're going to read the workout, you're going to be thorough with things. You showed up with the proper attire. Those that are coaches, and now you being a coach, you know that that stuff matters. You
Yeah.
have the proper gear. You're paying attention, and a lot of times you would speak for the team. Whether that's reaching out to me to say, are we still having training because it's raining? And my answer is going to be, we absolutely are.
Right.
But there were things, Courtney, that you began to show very early on that I'm like, and you're so passionate about the sport that I'm like, really, she needs to kind of go into this field. So I'm so glad that you did that. And so that helps me want to kind of transition to, there was a point in your coaching career so far that you did take a step back. And you stepped out of coaching just for 2 seasons. And what made you kind of do that?
I stepped back because I wanted to see if this was what I really wanted to do.
Mm,
And so, there are things, are burnouts. And so I just wanted to step back and be like, okay, I can breathe, because with coaching, you're always on the go. It's never a sit down. It's like a 24/7 type of thing. And so I just wanted some time away from the sport and kind of experience what a regular person do, go on trips, go on vacations, spend time with family, because we know with coaching, you don't spend a lot of time with your family and stuff, because you're either on the road traveling, or you're out recruiting, trying to bring in the next best. So I just wanted just a step away and a new scenery.
I love that. And I remember when you took that time away, and um, it was interesting because it seems like coaching was just calling you back.
It. I was getting given these opportunities in Atlanta, South Carolina, everywhere that I was stepping my foot into.
Mm.
They would always call on me, hey, I heard you were coaching, or I seen your picture online as a coach before. Can you, coach some of my athletes on the team, or can you do some private lessons? So I was always still there in the sport. So, you know, I missed it. I really did.
Yeah. And that's interesting because what would be the reasons why you felt like you missed it or why you chose to go back?
Um, I like to see the development of student athletes. I like to get those kids who, for example, a 23-foot long jumper on the guy's side. And then we end up 4 or 5 years later, we're jumping 25, 26 feet and trying to make the regional or national meet. I like to see that development, as well as on the academic side. I love to see someone graduate. That is my goal, is to, yes, we have the student part, but we need the athlete. I mean, the athlete part, excuse me, and then the student part too. So I like to see someone graduate in 4 or 5 years.
Yes, I love that. And I think that's key to continue to keep that at the forefront is both sides of it. And so you're in a special situation because this is your second stop at HBCU. And so there must be something about the HBCU experience that makes you want to embrace being a coach at that level. So tell us maybe what your top two things are that you love about being a part of a HBCU.
Um, I like being at a HBCU because one, that we're like the underdogs,
Mm,
and then the rich tradition. If you've ever experienced, a HBCU track meet, a HBCU, um, a football game, anything, everyone comes out to represent their alumni.
mm,
They love it. Being at football games, the experience, the food, the everything. So it's a great experience to see the difference between that and the PWI.
mm. And I concur because, man, I would be thinking back to maybe I should have went to an HB. I don't know if I would have made it, but when we came to just see your homecoming last year in football, and you gave us that experience, I was like, I love this. Like you said, you pull up, I'm smelling food. I know I'm gonna eat. Number two, I mean, somebody will start a wobble or a electric slide in the middle of the street. I'm like, this is awesome. And then lastly, I know my husband and I came to see you, and here we are. We just walk up and we fall right into a spades game. And I know you had to come get us up because for 2 hours we locked and loaded. And so you're right. There was a different vibe there that I was just like, yo, this is so cool. um and so I want to know too, you said a lot about just coaching, being a female coach, choosing a female coach, now being at a HBCU. You went through a time that you had to take a step back, and I'm so glad that you went back into it. But ultimately, why do you feel like we're so underrepresented when it comes to Black female coaches in the sport?
Well, we know the sport is dominantly males, and
Yeah.
so to represent us is just an amazing thing because it's not we can do it too, just like the males. We're almost like that mother figure
Mhm.
to our student athletes, and so they need to see women out there and um, as coaches, because man, some men out there with the coaches, it's different,
Yeah.
but just to represent as a female out there, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you're joining. Well, I know our time is almost short, but I do want to know what's coming up next for you. I know you're going to be going into season and stuff, but it's just Courtney. What's coming up next for you that you're excited about?
I'm excited for this, well, the 2023 season. In year, I plan to purchase a home out
Okay.
here in Baton Rouge and, possibly call this home.
Ooh, I love that. And those of you that know anything about coaching, getting to a space that you're going to go ahead and purchase that home, that says a lot about where you are. And I do believe that you're in a great space. Just from my experience of coaching for 15 years as a single woman like you, it was hard to kind of make a decision. Do I go ahead and buy? Because coaching can be very fluid and can change like this. But I love that you've gotten to a space that no matter what, you like where you are, and that's awesome.
Right.
So thank you so much for spending this time with us. I'm just glad that I got to steal you away for a little bit today.
I appreciate it. I have to actually get back going to work because have some more meetings to attend, and again, it never ends. So you have academic advisor meetings, you have weightlifting, you have the whole 9 yard, and so yes, I have to get back going.
Okay, well, thank you again. And I'm so glad we got to see you, Courtney.
I
Have a
appreciate
great
it.
one.
Thank
All
you.
right. Well, you guys, that was Coach Ware. Again, please make sure that you like and subscribe. I hope that you picked up some of the things she was putting down because she is in a very, very just different situation and a very I almost want to say high opportunity situation. Not only is she a Black female coach, but she also coaches at a HBCU. So therefore, she really has her hand in a lot of things and can really, really impact a lot of young people in many different facets and in many different ways. So I'm so glad that she shared that with us today. So again, make sure that you come back and check us out as we prepare for episode 6 of 15 for 15. Thanks again for joining us, and hopefully we will see you soon.